From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks, presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hello, Burbank. Craig Sherwood here with you once again, along with Craig Durling.
Where am I? There I am. Good evening, everybody.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. America, right? And all the ships at sea?
Now you're going way back in the Wayback Machine now.
And of course, back in the studio this week, the infamous Ross Benson.
Oh, am I feeling better? Might not look better, but
you're back in person here.
I am, the whole person. And we'll see how...
Well, at least table up.
I'm glad of that.
Yeah, we were worried about you last week, but you've had some tests and things seem a little better. And
I feel better today. We'll see.
You even got through the pre-production meeting dinner in good shape tonight.
I haven't been to the...
And ate healthy, too.
I did. Did you notice that?
Yes, I did. You ate the Scrabble from Patty's. Not the Scramble. The Scrabble.
No, the ground turkey Scrabble.
I don't know. I bought the egg whites before and yesterday.
Well, there was some, but maybe it was the Cholula that I had you put in your dish that set you off.
Oh,
you got a boost of energy about halfway through the meal.
If you notice how many pages of notes I have, I was prepared for
look
you
at
boys
you
tonight.
I don't think we're allowed to use paper anymore, are we?
Well, we can always.
First plastics, now paper.
Don't get them sustainable people.
Don't give them any ideas.
We love the Sustainable Commission to a point.
To a point.
Well, let's start off with last week's winner.
Dun, 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 dun.
We had a winner last week, as always, and this week the Alexa picked out Stephen Arakawa.
Stephen Arakawa. What did he win?
Stephen Arakawa has won a $25 gift card for Hill Street Cafe.
Oh, our favorite. So good.
So, Stephen, evidently you are listening, hopefully, because you listened last week, and you're hoping that your name was announced this week, and it was.
It was. Congratulations, Stephen. $25 for Hill Street. And Ross is showing you.
Look at that.
What could be your actual gift card right there.
I'm covering.
I don't know why he pulled it out of his wallet.
Yeah, right.
Is that where we keep them?
No, that's not where we keep. We actually they're out by the. But I will throw the mail for as soon as Stephen send us your address, so I can send.
Oh, he didn't include it in his original.
No,
email?
I did not.
All right, Stephen, send your email or your mailing address.
Mailing address, and I'll have it in the mail this week for you.
Yeah, to the same email address.
Same
that he sent the submission
I sent it to winner this time. Winner
because he's a winner.
Yeah, he's a winner now. So winner at myburbank.com.
Send us your mailing address. We're not going to sell your address. We're not going to come knocking on your door like Publishers Clearinghouse, but we're just going to use it to mail your gift
and if you get a chicken dinner at Hill Street, it'd be winner chicken dinner.
Chicken dinner.
Didn't I see Ed McMahon down the street?
And if you want to
listen below the street.
Now, how did Stephen win that gift card?
Well, he heard the word, and he sent the word in on the subject line to contest@myburbank.com.
All right.
And I got the email and put it with all the others. And at the end of the week, we have Alexa pick a number, and whatever number she picks, of whatever email came in, that's the winner. So.
Sounds good. So you have to listen to the whole show, because somewhere in tonight's show, we will alert you as to what the word of the week is. When you hear that, stick that in an email to contest@myburbank.com.
And something tells me you'll probably know when we get to that word.
It's hard to miss.
It's hard to miss.
So if you're nodding off at some point during the podcast, listening to us,
you talking about me?
That'll wake you up.
Yes, it will.
It'll wake you up. There's no missing the word of the week. But you too can be a winner like Stephen if you play your cards right. So listen for the word of the week, and we'll probably give you instructions again.
Yes, we will. We always do.
All right.
Well, we thank Hill Street Cafe, one of a fine eating establishment. I think one of the best kept secrets in town.
It really is, and it's off the beaten path.
Yes.
It's you're not likely to drive by it, and the odd chance you're going down Glen Oaks up there.
Yeah,
thank you to Stephen for listening to the show.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Okay, let's get on to the week that was.
Oh, you know who you didn't introduce?
Oh, who didn't we introduce?
Oh, he's out of the shot. Where is he?
Here we go.
Where'd he go?
We got him.
The Dodger cam.
We got the Dodger cam on tonight.
There's Dodger.
Hey, Dodger, how you doing? I'm in the dark.
Say hi, Dodger. No?
We'll have to call the gaffers in to get the lighting on the dog.
All right.
Okay. Oh, but now he's on the move.
He's on patrol. He's patrolling.
I've heard my name. I'm moving. Okay, so let's get into last week. So let's start off. Ross, you were busy on Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Nothing.
It just
We canceled Tuesday and Wednesday last
you know
week.
what? We had the storms, and we were just trying to recover.
That's right. Everybody was hunkered down.
Yep.
Because of the rains. Everybody. There was a great day to go get my errands around town done, though, because nobody was out, no lines, nothing. It was
No lines, no waiting.
great. Not that I want to give anybody else that idea, though.
But Thursday we did have a ribbon cutting. Ross, why don't you tell us about the ribbon cutting you went to?
Went up to the new Dog Haus. Is that what it's called? Or
Dog Haus.
Dog Haus.
Haus. Dog.
And I believe there's a name
House.
under it.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's something else to do there. But
No, it's
chain
because
is-
they also serve alcohol or something
Right,
there,
they
so
do.
it has something to do with that.
yeah, the chain is Dog Haus though. It's if that's the chain.
Yeah,
but
it's
there
a
is
name.
something else under
That's a
it.
different one, different owners than the one right over here on Olive. And real nice facility. They got a nice little outdoor patio, and the chamber was there, the mayor, the council members, and got to talk to the owner. And nice little setup. You know what? I hope he gets real busy before the airport. But I got talking to the guy, and he was thinking, I need to find out when those construction workers are going to be working at the airport all night long and be open at 2 a.m. So when they have lunch,
Well, that's smart.
I will say our crack reporter team has done some research, and it is the Dog Haus Beer Garden, North Burbank.
I like that.
Beer garden spelled, the German way, but we get the point. They serve beer there. So
They
that's
had-
the word under it, beer
They
garden.
had
A garden?
they had a garden. but
Words.
They had how many beers, and you know what I have not seen one of those big steins. Having a mustache like this, you can't drink out of a stein. And years ago, I got a stein that had a mustache.
Wait,
protector in it.
you got a beer stein for somebody who does not drink beer.
You can't beat a big glass of water that big. I mean,
But how do they make the foam?
oh,
How do they? Anyway,
oh,
there's all kinds of jokes there, but
Yes, there are.
we digress.
but it's a real nice facility. Glad they joined the Chamber of Commerce, and a couple other restaurants there will, like you guys saw, Randy's.
Randy's. Did we see it?
Did we
I
see
don't
it?
know if we- I don't know if we saw it.
There's a banner somewhere
Right.
waving.
But there is a Jersey Mike's there and a wing stop that I haven't gone into, but I am addicted to good old Jersey Mike's.
Oh, Jersey. You get it Mike's Way?
Yep,
There you
light,
go.
easy. Because if they
Alright.
put too much of that on, you're swimming the next day.
Okay.
I got it. There's more images in my
But
head
if you
I don't
think
need.
about it, for us longtime people, that used to be the test site for jet engines. There was a huge building there.
Right.
And
And
they
that
would-
was the last building standing.
Yeah,
That
that
one,
big
that
yellow-
one tall building, the tall one, yeah.
And they used to put jet engines in there in case they blew up.
Like Rocketdyne used to be on the other end of the valley. We'd hear that
Yeah.
every once in a while.
So, but for us people that have lived in Burbank all our life, seen Lockheed come and all the aircraft.
Well, you've lived in Burbank 2 people's lives. let's be honest.
but
you've
it's
been
nice
around a
to
while.
see. What do you call that? Repurpose that property.
Yeah, well, it took them
Well,
long enough to clean it up.
redevelop it. They don't
Redevelop
repurpose
Well,
it.
just like the Empire Center, it took them a while to.
Yeah, they had to tear it
clean
down.
it up.
and rebuild it.
groundwater that they found that was contaminated, and they had to clean that all up. So that's kind of different, It's people that don't drive San Fernando and Hollywood way. Brand new hotel.
No, but if you're going that way, keep going and hang a right, and you'll go by Hill Street Cafe.
you're right.
If you happen to be on that end of town.
There you go.
Yeah, we're going to do that hotel there, Cambria, in a couple of weeks, I think. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know the date a couple of days before.
Ross loves to talk
That was
about the
the
future.
secret.
So we also on Thursday we had a fire. Burbank Fire responded to a fire in an abandoned commercial building
Fuego.
that was upgraded to a 2-alarm fire that was located at 611 South Glenwood. They knocked down the flames in 39 minutes. So Ross, you were on scene, got some nice shots for us. So why don't you give us a little rundown on a major fire in Burbank?
Well, I went from the Dog Haus.
Halls?
Couldn't be farther away than 600 block of Glenwood. And, you try to pre-plan.
Let's go right down the 5.
Well, do I go the 5? Do I go Hollywood Way? Do I go Buena Vista?
Down 2 streets, hang a left.
And people know it was Glenwood and Oak, and Glenwood is 1 street off of Main.
Correct.
So give people an idea of the area.
Yeah.
And I figured they went to a second alarm, so fire's not going anywhere real quick. But what was kind of, if you don't know Glenwood, it's a dead-end street. But I knew a secret.
Ross knows the way to get in. He knew the way to get in.
Well, he's got his tunnels.
To bypass all of the
You got the Benson tunnels under Burbank, running all over the place under Burbank.
Most people would have gone to Glenwood and Oak.
And honestly, I didn't know this either. So when he told me, I was
skeptical.
I was skeptical, and I had to look on the map. I said, "Oh, okay, I see that." So,
well, I still don't know because he hasn't spit it out yet.
Most people would have gone to Glenwood and Oak, and I would have had to walk a block.
Well, who wouldn't?
I went. There is a Glenwood Place. And people that remember the old Martino's in town at the end of that block, it's an alley.
At Main and Alameda.
Right, but it's...
Yeah, that's in my old Martino's.
Right, old Martino's, right. There's this alleyway across from... Used to be an ice cream place there years ago. I worked on that block. I also have done 2 grand openings on that block. So I went that way, and I was right in front of the fire.
Well, you don't want to be right in front of them.
Well, I almost was. I was right next to the BC vehicle, the battalion chief. And, it's raining. As a photographer, I was not dressed to shoot in the rain. I hate when my camera gets wet because you can't wipe the lens off because then you get that.
This makes it worse.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And then I pull out my phone and I'm shooting with my phone. And I said to myself, it's a phone. It's not a camera. But I'll tell you. It's a camera. It's a phone. No, it's
Superman.
I got some real nice pictures with my phone.
With your what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just your run-of-the-mill phone?
Well, as I said when I departed that fire to Craig, as a photographer, and I've been doing this a couple of weeks, I remember editors always said, "Did he come back with something?" And I figured with the rain and with the lights and the water squirting, I have something.
No flames.
People are going to have to go to the restroom now after all that description of.
It was a small
water.
fire, but it looked like they're doing. They were going to demo.
Yeah, it was a vacant building.
It was vacant, and there was a construction fence in front of it with a.
Was it suspicious?
Well, they called out 2. I don't want to say investigators. But 2 investigators from the arson task force.
I don't want to say it,
but people don't understand. You put that in print. It's under investigation.
it's not suspicious.
It's not.
Did you know every fire that we report on, they say the investigations continue, and never once have we ever heard of what the investigation uncovers.
And you know why?
Tell us why.
Usually, I have taken classes. If it's an electrical fire, you have to take extension cords and they send them in to be tested. If it's flammable liquids, you have to do analysis.
I understand. So what's the purpose? They would never tell us what the...
Well, if you ask a couple of days later.
The news cycle's over. Nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
We had that fire at Victory and I want to say Manning years ago. That whole building, tree alarm, burned for... And I asked over and over again for months what the cause, and they never would tell me.
I know what started that fire.
What started that fire?
Rats with matches.
Okay.
No, but if you...
Well, you get heat, oxygen, and fuel. Those 3 things.
That thing burned good, which I wasn't at the beginning of. I got to the end of.
I remember who called you numerous times.
Yeah, right. I
right.
But they have to come up with a cause. Their insurance, and even if it's a building being demoed, now you would think an empty building, who would start it on fire? But if you really think about it, you're still going to, if it's your building, you still can collect insurance money, and they have to investigate that. So, and
Okay, I'll let Ross research this, and he will come up with the cause of that fire.
It's
by next
his
week's show.
beat. He can find out.
Next week's show, we'll let you know what the cause of that fire was.
I will come back to you. And if
Okay.
it's
There we go. Let's
And if you come back and say heat, fuel, and oxygen.
or Matt with ratchets.
What?
Matt with ratchets.
Matt with ratchet.
How about a
A
rat with matches?
with ratchets.
How about Nurse Ratchet? No. So we will let you know. Well, that's Friday was canceled due to lack of interest, and we ran on to the weekend.
Just like
wait,
that.
it rained on Friday.
Literally, they ran on the weekend.
Yes, they did. And Saturday morning, a very unique thing in Burbank happened called the Colors Run. Ross, why don't you give us a little? Craig, why don't you tell us what the Colors Run? And Ross maybe chime in.
He can put it in context.
Yeah, tell us why Ross can tell us why
What
they
is
did
the
it.
Colors Run? And
You can tell us what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Burbank PD has a couple of recruits in the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department's training facility, and every class does a colors run for their class. This class,
But explain what a colors run
I'm
means.
going to.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead like
Okay.
the rats with matches or the rats with matches. What was that?
Or mats with ratchets.
Massive ratchets.
That darn nurse ratchet. This class had 2 recruits in the class, and they usually do a run for a fallen deputy who was either killed or murdered or involved in an accident or whatever. This class chose to do it for Matt Pavelka. And they're apparently the sheriff's department, and this is where I'll give it off to Craig Durling. He's witnessed these classes. They invite the family members, other recruits, other deputies. I guess they had close to 200 people.
It's a big deal.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
they
big
ran. I guess they were going to run just around the station.
So my question is still, why do they
Okay.
call it a color?
The Colors
Colors
Run.
Run. Where
Historically,
did color come from?
they'll dedicate the run usually to a fallen officer or something like that, but they call it a Colors Run because when it's usually 2/3 between 2/3 and toward the end of the academy, is you get they have the Colors Run, and that is a run to earn your colors, your patches, and at that point, once you
Oh.
finish the run, you can now put your department patches on your
colors
uniform.
are considered patches.
That's what the colors are.
Okay,
is your
There
department
you go.
patches. So
Okay, I didn't know that.
so after that run, now the next time they go to their academy, Burbank can have their Burbank police patches on their shirts, and sheriffs can have theirs. So whatever their department
Okay.
patches are, they can now wear them on their uniform shirts in the academy.
Okay, well that makes a lot of sense.
That's the
then.
Colors Run, but they also use the occasion to dedicate the
Sure.
run to,
So I guess this
Somebody.
run was in memory of Matt Pavelka,
which
who-
is wonderful that they recognized him.
20
Absolutely.
died in line of duty.
Yeah.
20 years ago. Apparently, they were going to run around the station. They had so many cadets or recruits, and not cadets. They're recruits. They ran, I guess, down
like
Magnolia.
a snake chasing its tail.
Literally.
Yeah.
They went down Magnolia to San Fernando over to Alameda, or I'm sorry, to Angelino, came back up at 7 in the morning, and they chant, or not chant, but it's
Well, they call cadence.
cadence.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, when you have 200 people running,
It's impressive.
Is it cadence anything in specific, or did they make it up as they go?
It's a pacing. It's like a chant.
But
It started in the military.
Right, but did they make it up as they go? What in that in that beat, or do
They can.
or is it usually the same wording?
A lot of them are pre-planned. They're ones, but whoever's leading the run is the one calling it out, and then the runners either repeat it or they respond to it with preset
Okay.
kind of almost lyrics. But
Right.
it's done to kind of to keep everybody in pace, in beat, left, right, left, right. But it's musical in nature. But it's calling cadence, and they
Yeah,
they shout it out while they're running.
and they run at a pretty good pace. I mean, there's no walkers in this
Yeah.
group.
Well,
No, I've run a couple of these in my day. Those days are far gone now. But
And then they go back to the station. They presented some awards to a couple of the recruits that
Yep.
got them coming. And I guess Burbank Police Foundation provided breakfast burritos, and for refreshments for them. And I was told they were out of there like when
yeah, they seem to be much bigger events than when I went through my academy. You know, it's a big deal now. It's more of an occasion because they bring the family in,
Yeah.
and they'll have pancake breakfasts and they'll have lunches and things because it's a chance for everybody to get together for that. But
In fact, the jailer graduation I just did at 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
Apparently, they did theirs, and it was in Hermosa Beach, and they ended up having a barbecue on the beach, and it's really to get camaraderie and
yeah, and it's a reward for the recruits too to have made it that far in the academy, and it's a privilege to be able to wear your patches, wear your colors. So it's kind of the recruits see it as a huge reward and a privilege that they've gotten to that level, that place in the academy.
Now, tell me the truth. You can keep up when they run this because every week you do calisthenics.
Oh, you're doing PT
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
running every
These guys
almost
are in
every
pretty
day.
good shape. They would
Yeah.
be
Oh,
where
they are. I
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they also have retirees joining them, and some of these guys have been
Oh,
around.
they join in,
20,
but
30
then
years.
they're escorted. You know, when I was a motor, I several of these colors runs we escort the group to close intersections and stuff so they can safely run through them.
And I'm sure
with
the
cars
people,
in the back.
the people
So
who volunteered to also be in it knew what was coming and knew that they could probably run it too, that they wouldn't
oh yeah,
be winded in two
yeah.
blocks.
Well, they don't let just anybody
Yeah, I'm sure.
run in that, you know. But the officers from usually participating agencies
Right.
will come in and help escort
Well,
it,
Glendale
protect the
had-
group as they're going down the
Yeah.
road.
Besides a couple of Burbank officers, there's some Glendale officers
Yep.
in this class. So the Glendale
Yeah.
guys.
And everybody usually sends somebody to participate in it, whether either running or providing traffic control. And
So if you live downtown, or if you were driving early in the morning, maybe going to farmers market, because a lot of people go there, they saw this and wondered what was going on. That's
There you
what it
go.
was.
there you go.
Well, later that date on Saturday, we had something we still don't have much information on, but their Burbank paramedics were called to the 2200 block of Niagara for a report of a 50-year-old not breathing. And soon, Ross, you were listening to the 15-minute delay radio and heard them starting to roll detectives to the area.
Well,
So-
actually, I heard a couple hours later them request. I heard a detective sergeant go out, and then I heard 3 detectives go out, and that kind of.
on a Saturday night, but they're not working on
Well,
the
no.
weekend, so unless they're called in.
And so for me, that kind of made my ear turn, wonder what it was. And Craig, is it kind of normal to, when you have a suspicious unknown why
Well,
somebody stops breathing?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be suspicious. It's just if you can't explain the manner of death, like a lot of times you go to a call like this where someone's non-responsive or they passed, they may have been under the care of a doctor for a while or a family doctor or have been treated for something where you can find the doctor and they will essentially agree to sign the death certificate because they know they're basically assuming the cause of death at that point.
The history of
Short
the
of-
patient.
Yeah, they know the medical history or they've been treated for heart disorder or something like that, so that their attending doctor can say, yeah, I'll sign the certificate, part of this. Short of that, it's up to it becomes a coroner's case. So it's now up to the coroner to figure out how they passed, why they passed. And in doing so, they basically take possession of the remains to do their testing and autopsy and all that. Becomes a coroner's case. It's now their handle.
So I figured, if they called a couple of detectives,
Yeah.
the first units in there must have.
Well,
this is not a normal.
If there's any hint that it could be suspicious or a suicide or something like that, they have to basically treat it from that point on as a homicide.
As we always learned,
So
it's always a homicide until it's not.
right. So if a couple of detectives and a detective sergeant are their standard call out for what could be a suspicious death, really they're just coming to document the scene and kind of take a snapshot of the scene in case it becomes something bigger. So they'll do follow-up with doctors and neighbors and family members and things like that. And if they finally determine it's not suspicious in nature, then they close the book and go
Now,
away.
it's funny because I listened to this one, heard the detectives go out, like I say, an hour later. I never heard field forensic people called. So that makes me think it's not a murder or, there's guns or knives laying around that they need real.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
There have been many times I've been on calls like this, and they'll call and the watch commander will say, well, let's get detectives in here just so they can bless it as, no, this isn't suspicious.
So we're
just to make that official decision.
We'll follow up on that, and if it is anything unusual,
Yeah,
I will.
I'm not sure how we're going to get past the coroner because we won't have a name for reference to ask.
But we have an address, so
and a report number.
Yeah, we can get that.
That won't be the coroner's report number, but you'll have the PD's report number.
Okay. Well, Ross is going to be busy. That's another thing for him to follow up on.
We'll give it to one of our ace reporters.
Cause of fire and what happened. Okay, well, I think that's kind of it for the week that was. So let's pause for a quick commercial, and we'll be back with you with the week that will be.
Enjoying the show right now? Thinking you may want to do your own podcast? Library Talks is renting out our podcast studio on an hourly rate. You can do audio podcasts or both audio and video, and even bring in guests to talk with. We will help you get set up on podcast platforms and start a YouTube channel, and we can edit your productions to make you look and sound your very best. If you're interested, please drop us an email at studiorentals@myburbank.com. That's studiorentals@myburbank.com, and we will get back to you. Now, back to our show.
Okay. Craig Sherwood with you, along with Craig Durling.
Thanks for sticking with us.
And, of course, Ross Benson.
That's right.
His thumb said hi for you only listening.
My thumbs up. I keep forgetting this.
He's all about the camera.
He's got a microphone in front of his face and forgets he has to talk.
Well, it's below my lips.
Why does that announcer that just did that spot sound suspiciously like Ryan Seacrest? Is that Ryan Seacrest?
Well, it sounds like him, doesn't it?
It does sound like Ryan Seacrest. We have that kind of budget on this show?
No, I was going to say we're going to get a bill.
I think that's kind of, I can't remember his name. I think it was Gary or something on the AI website.
On the AI.
Gary Owens?
No, I think he's the same place as Ed McMahon.
No, Gary Owens. He's still
Gary
alive.
Owens?
Yeah, he's still alive.
No, he's not.
I don't think.
No.
I don't.
Well, let's see.
But now we are entering the week that twill be.
So today,
Wait a minute, I have something from last week I want to talk. Oh, we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Always with the wrench. Tossing the wrench into the work.
I don't get it. We sit down, we spend an hour eating and talking about things. We come back and have a meeting. We go over the rundown, and then he says,
wait a minute.
I forget when these meetings were. I watched so many meetings.
Stop time. I have something to add.
Okay, well, what does he want to add for last week?
They had a Parks and Rec board meeting. They talked about the Dick Clark Dog Park. Arf, arf, bow, wow.
Richard Wagstaff Clark.
How did you know his middle name?
I've worked for him for many years.
26 years in the making. Now that's half
not
of my
Dick Clark,
life.
the dog park.
Dog park.
Okay.
They talked about this 26 years ago. How many years do a dog live?
That's about 2 dogs worth.
Yeah.
Roughly.
And they got a gift from Dick Clark's wife, Carrie is her name?
Carrie, yeah.
For $150,000 for naming a dog park.
That was nice of her.
After Dick Clark. Well, everybody drove past that monstrosity for an extra year?
On Riverside Drive.
Riverside Drive. Everybody complained about the motorhomes over on Forest Lawn Drive that were an eyesore to Burbank.
Indeed they were.
And the other day there was a staff report on the dog park because the Park and Rec had to decide on
if they want to have parking in the dog park or parking on the street.
Well, but that's not the only thing.
Right, but they picked the design with the parking that's in the dog park.
Right. Well, there was A, B, and C. C.
I never saw. I just saw an A and B.
Well, there was an A, B, and C.
Okay.
The C had. Look, I was about to say shit.
Oh, thank God you didn't. That might offend the listeners.
It had like three dog benches and a water bowl. You know, that's what they could afford. Well, they decided to go with Plan B, which is a Taj Mahal. They were going to go with Plan A, but that's what Burbank wanted. Burbank residents wanted the sky.
And how much is that Plan B going to cost?
$2.8 million.
Million?
I was told 2.4. It's 2.8 now?
It's somewhere in there. They were $600. They're $600,000 short. Now, if they stall for another year, you know it'll go up to
$1 million.
It just really kind of gets me that
so $2.4 million to do a small little acreage thing with a small dog, large, and the parking lot I see is going to be asphalt instead of just doing gravel, which is probably very expensive. But $2.4 million for a dog park? I just don't get how
the breakdown.
And they'll say, they're going to say, well, we got grants, we got this and that. We got $150,000 from Dick Clark.
Does that mean we still have to spend $2.5 million just because?
Well, here's the breakdown that was not in the staff report. That's what kind of gets me. LADWP, for ripping up our park and tearing out the trees, said we'll give you $370,000.
Because that's probably what it costs to re-put grass in and put trees in.
The way it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then they got $150,000 from Kerry.
Right.
Dick, Kerry.
Okay.
What's the dog's name?
Kerry Clark.
So we're about $500,000 right there.
They got a grant coming in for $244,000.
Okay. Around $750,000 now.
Now, most people wonder when they build a high-rise here or when they do the fries, those are called developer impact fees.
Yes.
$710,000 they're getting from that.
Okay, so we're about 1.6 now.
Taxpayer money, $450,000.
Okay, so around $2 million right now.
So that's what we're paying as residents.
Yeah, around $2 million.
And like I said, that is $1.9 million. To get up to the 2.4, that's what they're short.
More taxpayer money.
So where do you get that money?
Well,
do they take it from the general fund, or do they, put that fishing line up?
Okay, but here's the other half of it. This is how much money they can bring in for the project. I want to know how much it's costing. What are they spending it on?
Oh,
yeah.
Well, the amenity.
No, we'd like to get a rundown. How much are those trees costing? They're going to put in. How much is
great? You can bring in $2.5 million for this project. You're going to find a way to spend $2.5 million because you're getting it. What are you spending it on?
Yeah,
all the things that they have to do that are required. Lighting
for dogs.
It's a city park.
It's a people park.
Well, I never saw dogs. I never saw they're putting lights. They're going to put lighting in now, so they're going to be open at nighttime.
It'll be open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. because it's a city park.
Okay.
Considered park, so they got to do lighting. But all the benches for people to sit on, the water fountains for the people, not the dogs.
So it's a dog friendly city park. So it's city park first. That
for many years I remember
like we're making
saying,
a big deal out of this, doesn't it? Though.
Well, but, people wonder. We talk about an airport taking how many years to do, agree on 19 gates? 26 years to agree on a dog park. And I hope I see it before the airport.
Well, they said it's supposed to be done by the fall.
See it at period.
You see it. Period.
It's supposed to be done by the fall, they said.
I hope they get their shovels out there pretty quick.
So,
yeah,
you'll be there for the ribbon cutting.
Well, that's true. I'd still like to see a breakdown of the expenses. Where are they spending all that money on? And do we need an asphalt parking lot? We can't do it with a gravel parking lot. I mean, how much can we save on that alone?
To save that $600,000, smaller trees. I'm sorry, you can't put a twig in the ground. I remember when they did Bud Overham Park, they showed the pictures of the trees, gorgeous canopies, and the purple and the blue flowers.
Well, they'll put one of those trees and they put it in front of your house when the tree falls down. It's about 15 feet tall and it's got 3 little branches that are just starting to.
Well, it's got to grow.
Yeah, exactly. So, how much does that tree cost?
In 20 years from now, that'll be a lovely tree.
Yes.
Dick Clark will like it. So that was just, I listened to that report. Not a lot of people probably listen to Parks and Rec.
Yeah, but it still has to go to the city council. It's not a done deal. City council now has to.
They have to make that final decision on $600,000.
They got to authorize the money. They got to look it over. So we'll bring it back up to you guys when it gets on their agenda.
I know, Ross, you were in. Don't think I missed it. You were trying to catch me. There are 4 dogs that I knew of when I worked for Dick Clark were Molly, Maybelline, Lucille, and Bernardo. Have I said this on the show before?
Yes,
Has this
did.
come up? Yeah,
Yes.
I think so. But you asked me earlier if I can name them, and those are the 4 I knew. So there you go.
Now I know we have Dodger in the house, and I wonder.
And Craig's right leg.
And my right leg. Well, we'll just have Dodger only now.
And I wonder, a good way to make money. They did it at the airport. My son bought me a paver, my name on it, that is in the entryway of the airport as a gift at some time he gave to me. At this dog park, the walkway going in, I bet you they can make $600,000 selling pavers with Dodger's name on it. And
I will buy one for Dodger.
See,
In fact, I'll buy one for Rocky.
Look, he's already thanking you.
So, yes,
See?
he is. He likes to.
All right, we're still in last week. This
Well, now we can
heated addition to last week.
Let's now move back to today. So today,
When's the day?
the Sustainable Burbank Commission did meet at 5:00 at the Community Services Building, and all they talked about was their 4 subcommittees all reported back on whatever the subcommittees were talking about. So they didn't really do a whole lot for a change.
And just for clarification, today is the day of recording. We're recording
Yes.
this, which is Monday,
Right.
February 12th.
So they met. We were recording this around 9:30. So they met about 4 hours ago.
Now, my question about that is sustainability. I tell you, I get it with the polystyrene,
Plastic.
Okay, but they didn't.
styrofoam cups.
Right,
I get
They
that.
didn't talk about this stuff tonight.
I don't give a damn. You talk about sustainability, you get me started, you're going to have to hold your seatbelt and fasten your boots.
Well, let's
You better take your tooth out for
Let's
this.
wait till we get to tomorrow when we can actually talk about this
Or his
a
rant.
little more. Yes.
All right, we will.
Okay.
If the audience sees him take his tooth out, he's all wound
Yes.
up. He's about to throw down.
take
We
that-
used to have a council member, Jarvie Gilbert, when he took his microphone off, dropped it on the counter, they knew they weren't going to hear anything more.
It's like a mic drop.
Yes, and that'd be a good thing. So it means it would last a lot less. So the Planning Commission also met today at City Hall. And of course, Ross has comments on
Oh,
this.
back to Ross.
So one of the things that they talked about. Should I tell what you want to just have the comments, or should I go about what they talked about first?
Yeah, what's that first thing they talked about, Craig?
The first thing they talked about was an appeal of the decision for the emergency removal of trees located at 113 North Niagara, 434 North Niagara, and 400 South Keystone that were statutorily exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. So evidently those are 3 trees that had to come out immediately, which I understand that, but they had
For safety
yes.
reasons.
So somebody appealed it, though, and paid the appeal fee, and so they had to listen to the appeal tonight.
Now, that's what blows me away.
Okay.
The attorney that has been hired by those residents is the same attorney that did the lawsuit against the city on the Pickwick project.
Well, he was very successful there, wasn't he?
You know how much he's charging these people to be brought into this case? And now,
And so he's involved in this one on the appeal also?
yep,
Okay.
how do you like them cookies?
Where did you hear that?
I have a source.
Okay. Well, there you go.
That just kind of gets me that, the city, okay, you wait till these trees fall down. I was out there, destroyed a house, destroyed a nice car, and these people are now bitching and complaining.
And this is
Because
3
the city-
trees. Now, I understand the 122 trees they want to take out.
That's right.
It's just being, preemptive. Now,
Pre
we just went through some big storms, and those trees didn't do a thing. I do have a problem with just taking out trees just to take out trees. But if they are in danger and they're near their end of their lifespan, they might fall. Absolutely, we need to take those out. But
If they survive the last rainstorms,
Yes.
they're doing pretty good.
Well, I'm not
We're
a
talking
tree
three
expert.
trees here.
I'm not a tree expert. The city called in, like we remembered a couple years ago, City Park in Pasadena, tree falls on a young girl, kills her. City gets sued for millions and millions. And they go,
That's what happens.
But
yeah.
that tree was not in danger of falling. It just happened. I mean,
Well-
and that's that's an act of nature,
Right,
and you don't know.
But
one's-
especially in the city's defense, if they've already declared that a tree
yes,
is at risk of falling, imagine
Right.
now if it fell over and hurt somebody.
well, and
The
that's
city's already admitted.
these trees are through their lifespan. People think trees live forever. They're finding these experts that come in and did you see the tools?
arborist, yes,
Arborists.
arborists.
Magnifying glass and compasses and the tools that they use to come up with.
But how do you feel?
why.
How do you feel about taking all the trees in Niagara out, all 122 of them?
Well, and my guess is since we live in a desert, these trees aren't exactly, they didn't just spout up out of the ground here. They were probably planted at some point.
But
Right?
I just think we could look at all the trees on Niagara and figure out which ones are in trouble and which ones aren't. And why take them all out? We're going to go to Bel Air next and take all the palm trees out. I mean,
No, but look what they did on Magnolia. How many years have we heard about people complaining about Magnolia, the trees along Magnolia?
and why were they taken out? Because the roots were tearing up the sidewalks. People were
Right.
tripping.
Right.
And-
But the point of this is there are the three particular trees that they've discovered are
Right.
exempt and they can't pull them out, or
No, they're against they've pulled them. And they're this attorney, guardian of the pines, an unincorporated association is suing the city.
for pulling three trees that they
Well,
weren't.
but remember, no, not for this. It's for the whole thing on
Oh,
all,
for the
all
whole
the
thing.
trees.
Okay.
But also, the residents came to council and said during oral communications, we have to do this because you refused to come talk to us. They would not, Park and Rec would not come communicate with them over numerous requests to sit down and talk about it.
Sounds
This
like
is
a
the
perfect excuse for an open house or a what do they call it? A town hall.
Town
Town hall
A
meeting.
town hall. Yeah.
And they were not, the city was not talking to them in any way. They said this is the only way we can get somebody to actually talk to us.
Right.
So I feel bad for those residents who had to go through legal means to actually get something, why Park and Rec would not be
They have to
forthcoming.
file a lawsuit to open the discussion.
Well,
Yeah.
that's Burbank's thinking is reactive, not proactive.
Well, they were being proactive by instead of taking out the damaged trees or the potentially damaged trees,
Take 'em
they
all.
just took them all out.
Well, that's what they're saying. And
And that's I agree with those people. Is that really the best way to do that? But they're also having a hearing on a request to start serving alcohol
oh my God.
at Chili John's which is a 2018 Burbank Boulevard. And of course, Ross, you've got some comments there.
Chili
I'm
John's.
just going to leave the camera on Ross the rest of the show.
Yes.
Well, I happen to know the new owner. He bought it from
Chili John.
from a relative on a relative, and he has been trying to get this liquor permit to sell on sale for years since he bought the place. And most people, if you've ever been in the restaurant business, your food you're not making any money on. You're making money on your beer and your wine and your alcohol. And for him to survive, why, all the red tape that he has to go through. So hopefully
Well, there's rules about how many alcoholic, restaurants or stores that you can have in an area, and I'm
Right.
sure there are some liquor stores there.
Unlike a gun store.
Yeah, unlike gun stores where we can just have as many as we want to have.
well, that's a good
You
point.
they sell alcohol at a gun store?
Ooh.
Well, we brought that up
Beer,
many times.
beer and bullets.
We brought that up many times is how they have the restrictions on alcohol, but not on gun stores. So
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. And
Hmm.
there is, what was that place, Pirates Cove, I think, across the street, and Buchanan Arms is up the street.
right, and you used
But
to have
he
a place
is-
called the ballpark or the park.
Right,
that was by
park.
there, and there's a liquor store right by there.
Yep. So,
And I think
We'll just rename it like in downtown Prescott in Arizona. We'll just call it Whiskey Row.
there you go.
hey,
Why not?
San Fernando is a boulevard only
You
in
can bar
Burbank.
hop. You can just do a pub crawl down the street.
Well, hopefully,
And you'll be crawling by the time you got to
You'd be
7 or 8 of
crawling
those.
at the end. Yep.
I think I read in the bottom of that report that it was recommended by the city planners to
to approve it. And I'm fine with that.
I'll buy you a beer when we go there for a chili dog.
Well, you can drink it because I don't drink.
You know, save your beer money, buy him another chili dog.
Yes, I'll take the chili dog, not the beer.
But he won't eat chili dog with beans.
Oh, let's not open. Let's not open
That's
that can.
because chili is chili. Now, if it's chili and beans, then no, I don't want chili and beans. But you go to Wendy's, you want a chili, you get beans in it.
Okay.
I always say call it chili and beans if you're going to put beans in it.
Then I submit to you this. Chocolate chip cookies. They don't say chocolate chip and walnut cookies. Who's putting nuts in chocolate chip cookies without telling you?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah. You go buy cookies a lot of the time. There's nuts in a chocolate chip. Who put nuts in a chocolate chip cookie?
I'm sure they got to disclose that for people who are allergic.
Chocolate chip and nut cookie.
Well, all I know is that, can you imagine having beans in your Larry's
in my chocolate
chili
chip
burger
cookie?
Or chili dog or your Tommy's? There'd be beans in it?
I grew up, my dad's recipe has beans in the chili.
So does
kidney beans.
Red kidney beans.
Kidney
right?
beans,
Yep.
Yeah, I just absolutely hate those. But
you hate all
who asked?
beans.
Who asked you?
No, I like green beans.
Oh, you do?
Who
Oh,
asked?
I like green beans. Yeah.
Oh, what's the occasion?
Dinner.
This week on Craig and Ross's dietary preferences.
So moving on to Tuesday, we're having a city council meeting this week because
No way.
Yeah.
Just the one?
Every now and then they do have one. It seems like now, and who knows how long it'll go and if they'll get to everything. But actually, you know what? Before the city council meeting, we have another event tomorrow, and that's going to be at 11:30 in the morning. I didn't see that up there. The Burbank Police Foundation is going to have their annual police awards luncheon at 11:30 at the Marriott. And my Burbank will be there to cover it, and Ross will be there to shoot it.
Photograph it.
Photograph. Is it open to the public, or you have to buy tickets?
You got to buy tickets.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't just wander
But
in.
the public can buy tickets. Yeah.
I believe I heard a couple of hundred people have bought tickets. Like you say, our reporter.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
That person. Insert name here.
What's her name?
We'll fix it in post. We'll insert the name in post.
Her name would be Lynn Lipinski.
Lynn Lipinski. And you know what? I
Who
put
covers all of our community.
in my phone today, and I couldn't find her number. And
she covers all our nonprofits for us.
Yep, and I talked to her, and they have about 50 awards they're giving out to officers that have done some spectacular things.
I want to do a little shout out to Karen Volpe and Barry Glasto, who are going to who gave her a ticket to get in.
They're eating there. She's joining the Rotary table.
Yeah, she's going to be their guest.
Yep.
So I assume if somebody wanted to buy a ticket to the luncheon, they could go to the Burbank Police Foundation's website and do so.
Yep.
Okay, so now we'll move on to the city council meeting.
Is there a city council?
Is there a city council meeting?
There's a city council
this
meeting.
week?
When is that?
6 p.m. at City Hall.
Oh,
where is it?
272.
City Hall. They're going to start off with they're going to have a closed session earlier and have an evaluation of the city attorney. They do that I think twice a year or something, and just evaluate. I don't think they're upset with him. There will be a public hearing on establishing development standards for SB 9 single-family dwellings and urban lot splits in single-family residential, which are R1 zones, to ensure consistency with the state law. Once again, this is something they're trying to work out a bug in the SB 9, and I think there's only so much they can still do, but there are provisions in the SB 9 that let people do all sorts of bizarre things, and I think they're trying to fix some of those things before it happens. So we will find out what I'm sure they're going to. It's kind of a no-brainer, and they're going to pass. I can't imagine anybody speaking against it during the hearing.
Oh, wait a minute. We said that.
Well, we said before, and
are we inserting a Ross's rant into the?
Also during the consent agenda, they're going to do the second reading of the sustainable ordinance that they talked about the last meeting, and they're going to finalize the ordinance and put it in. I heard there might be some additions or subtractions or corrections, or it's a very complicated ordinance. We're going to have a complete rundown on Wednesday or Thursday when we get the information from the city. But Ross, I think you had some opinions on that, didn't you?
Who's starting my engine? Are you ready?
Sustainability. Oh, vroom, vroom, vroom.
It just, I understand our Earth is only going to be here for so long. But when I read the staff report to the city manager, I don't know how many people.
No, wait a second. Is this the city manager's notes,
Yes.
or is this on the council agenda?
This staff report on the agenda.
Okay, on the agenda, not to the
Yes.
city manager.
But, and like I said a few minutes ago, polystyrene, such as styrofoam, I get that. But, when people ship you these packages that have this styrene in it, what do you do with it? What trash can? You can't put it in your trash can. Do you burn it? Then it's illegal. But going down the list of the things that we're going to be restrictive on using, egg cartons, cups, cup lids, bowls, plates, containers, utensils, straws, napkins, drink stirrers, plugs. And I get it that they all leave pollution and they lead to wildlife harm. But a couple of these new ones, folks, are we regulating us to where you're going to carry your own plastic silverware in your pocket? You got to carry your own straw now because you go to places. Where are we with this? It's,
I think Burbank thinks they have to start somewhere, and all of a sudden now you're talking about proactive and reactive. They're trying to be proactive on something that's.
How many people put their after dinner put their scraps in their regular trash and take it out every week? It just really gets me. And on some of this stuff, I do feel for restaurant owners that are going to have catering trucks. Like I said last week.
Well, they're going to be handing out silverware and china.
They're going to be restricted. And anything, let's say, like Burbank, Magnolia Park's Holiday in the Park, because the city contributes financially to it, like paying for some of the barricades, we can't have bottled water.
They can't send single-use water bottles.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't have refillable stations for your own water bottle you carry with you, but they just can't sell their own. They can't go to the store and buy cases of water bottles and just.
Does that mean the stores can't sell it anymore?
Well, that's yes, and by a certain year.
So you go to Smart and Final or Vaughn's, you can't buy a case of water in plastic bottles anymore?
Pretty soon, yes.
Is that the Burbank ordinance, or is that going to be a state ordinance?
That's state.
Okay.
But the city is what they're doing now.
They have to comply.
They have to comply. So what kind of gets me is,
but the store can still sell the water bottles now.
For now, until
the state law comes into effect.
Right. But like I just read in another publication, have we done too much to regulate to where they're now finding, like I said at our dinner meeting, you remember when you had to get the thin bags at the grocery store and you had to put two, and now those aren't even allowed. They have a heavier bag, and you got to still pay for them.
Well, we live in the most regulated state in the country.
And I think you said it last week. How many places in Burbank? You remember the bottles you had to pay 5-cent deposit on?
Yeah.
And where can you turn those in for 5 cents? It just, where are we going?
Well, if you can find a store that has the recycle machines, the receptacles, and then it's like those coin
but in Burbank,
machines, they take a percentage. There's none left in Burbank?
No.
They're
There's
gone.
none. Jeez.
Yeah.
See, that's again, the government is coming up with these regulations that society and the infrastructure and these industries are nowhere near ready to.
And that's why I feel sorry
to.
for some of these restaurants. A mom and pop shop that is hardly making it, selling a burger.
Well, look at Chili John's. It's trying to get a liquor license so they can keep their doors open. But now they can't use plastic this, plastic that.
I think they already do use silverware there. Last time I was there, 6, 7 years ago.
Did they have beans?
They did not have
The
beans.
beans in the chili?
They had not. You could request them.
I know I usually have a rant, but that one just, I read this staff report, and when you say the word.
Well, we're going to talk about it more next week and what they actually approved and what's going to be in the ordinance. And
Yeah, let's let them have the meeting.
We're going to get a rundown. Jonathan has promised me a rundown on all this, and I will look forward to his email tomorrow. There's also going to be, this was taken off the last agenda and now dumped on this agenda, to have an update on the landlord and tenant ad hoc roundtable meeting and direction regarding the proposed solutions. I know there were people who spoke at the last council meeting before they took this off the agenda and made them sit there for 6 hours, that a lot of people were never notified about the roundtable and were not included in the roundtable.
I'm surprised, kind of surprised we didn't get any emails from that last week.
Yeah.
I mean, people that got stuck sitting there for all those hours,
Yeah.
just to have them punt it to the next meeting.
Yeah, well, I think that was a black eye on the council, I think. They're also going to talk about resolutions by the council. Back in December, council members Lizette Mullins requested a first step report regarding limiting resolutions considered by city. Oh, hold on here. Considered by the city council in matters and issues related to city business. In 2023 alone, the council considered over 100 resolutions, including, of course, nuclear proliferation.
Or proliferation.
That also.
Who?
We were talking about nuclear war in the Burbank City Council.
And how it's a bad thing.
That's a bad thing. Bad
war.
war.
Nuclear war is bad.
Bad war. So, I don't mind the resolutions, but some of these resolutions, yeah, it's funny. I get immediate emails from the governor's office, and he'll proclaim, like, we have, let's say Easter coming up. He'll say, we're proclaiming this day Easter. It's like,
it's Easter egg hunt day.
Hey, Governor, it's already Easter. We don't need you to proclaim it Easter. We know it's just, what a bunch of busy work and all that. But in Burbank, they have to have the staff member make up a resolution. They have to present it. It's just a big thing. And if it's something that it should be done, that's one thing. But some of these things that don't have any use in Burbank. It's theater.
Now I think I know why council is dark some weeks. That's because those city staffers...
They're printing resolutions?
Yes.
They're busy printing resolutions?
And doing research.
Could be.
Well, that's it for the council meeting. We have to get done by 11 o'clock, so they have to make a motion to have the meeting go past 11 o'clock, which we don't understand why they have to make the motion and greet it every time. Why not take that off the books and just have your meeting without having to do that? But, of course, that was an old council.
What if they start the meeting earlier?
Well, I agree with them
about that.
I agree with them starting it when they do, because people get off work and want to have a chance to come in and make their voice heard.
But I think what they need to do is limit the time if they're doing presentations.
Yes.
Sometimes those take an hour.
Well, and also, I'll tell you what else is kind of ridiculous. When everybody has to make a comment on something.
Right.
And
all the council members.
Yeah, every council member has to comment on something, even though they have nothing new to add to it. If you have something new to add to it, yes, we want to hear from you.
They just have to have their opinion.
Yeah, I just want to I agree with my colleague, and I agree with this, and I agree. It's like, did we need to hear that? Okay, fine. We get it. If you didn't agree.
Ditto.
Yes. If you didn't agree, you could have just said, hey, I don't agree, and here's why. But we don't need to know you agreed, because
we don't need to spend an hour agreeing with each other, politely agreeing.
Oh, they
know that they are saying something.
Yes, I've said something in the meeting about it.
Well, they figure if they have to speak so that people can see that they're doing something, they're actually participating, right?
Yeah.
Past 1:12,
and that's why we need a council code of conduct.
Oh, that's why.
Yes. And by the way, with that in mind, I saw our former mayor, who's now a council member, was in Arcadia the other day at the Dragon, the Lunar New Year celebration.
Right.
And there were dragons running around. He posted a video, and I kind of sent out one of those snarky little tweets that said, I hope one of those dragons doesn't spank you.
He put the dragon in the Lunar New Year celebration?
So that's all we need.
He didn't rep himself as
No.
I was going to say.
No, he just put a tweet out saying
former Burbank mayor.
No, he just put a tweet out saying he was there. There's nothing about the city on there, but
on his personal.
Is he running for? Oh, excuse me.
Guess what Wednesday is?
Wednesday is.
The day not to get married. I mean, I'm sorry.
Why would you not want to get married on Valentine's Day?
You can't, because we were told you can't get flowers for that day. And the other
What do you
reason?
mean?
Oh, for the wedding, for the ceremony.
Yeah.
What-
That's what we were
There's no
told.
flowers left.
You can't get. What do you mean? They won't sell
All
you
the flowers
They're
are
all
sold,
sold out.
because it's Valentine's Day.
Okay, you can't.
I don't know.
You can't buy them in advance.
Flowers look kind of dead the day after, you know.
All right. Well, you gave it
Right.
away. Wednesday the
Yeah.
14th is Valentine's
But
Day.
it's the only time that I got Craig Sherwood in a limousine.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Door-to-door service too. Very impressive day.
There are, I will say, a ton of Burbank establishments that have special menus. One of them I saw tequila.
And prices.
And did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to pay to. You know what? It's. Why not have your Valentine's Day on February 15th? You'd probably save a lot of money.
No, but you always argue for holidays that it needs to be celebrated on the actual holiday.
No, that's not always true.
You said that. You said that.
Uh-oh. We'll have to rewind the tape.
These Monday 3-day weekends and stuff is don't celebrate on a.
No, I know. I
Friday,
understand.
how about
No, I know. I understand that. I'm talking about serious holidays.
Serious holidays.
Don't say
You know,
that.
Veterans Day,
Don't say
Memorial
that.
Day.
I don't sell that to the Hallmark greeting card company.
Yes, who
Valentine's Day.
invented Valentine's Day?
All right.
Yes.
What else is on Wednesday?
Well, the library board of trustees.
Well, wait. After Wednesday, is that when the Halloween candy starts appearing? Or what?
After Valentine's Day? Well, they replaced the.
They'd probably put the Easter candy up first.
Oh, Easter. Okay.
Yeah, Halloween
Valentine's-
is a little.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the Halloween store in Burbank will still be open though.
You bet it will.
So also on Wednesday, the Board of Library Trustees meeting at 5:30 at the Central Library. So if you're into library talk, book them, Dano. No, wrong terminology, huh?
We have a lack of sound effects on this show.
Well, I didn't have
Wah, wah.
there's no noise in the library.
Shh.
Anyhow. Well,
We go from Wednesday, sliding sideways.
We have that sound effect.
From Wednesday, we slide sideways right into the weekend, skipping
Yes.
right over Thursday
We
and
decided,
Friday.
yeah, Thursday and Friday were canceled due to lack of interest.
Again.
So Saturday morning, something kind of neat is the Burbank 70 the Adaptive Sports Expo from 10 to 3 at McCambridge Park. And it's for our, some mentally disabled or physically challenged, kids. And I think adults too, I think. The available sports include, they call it beat baseball, which I think is that baseball for the blind? That they do it through a sound in the ball or something?
Ooh, I don't know.
I'm not sure either, but I think that's what it is. Blind soccer, wheelchair rugby, power chair soccer, adaptive judo.
Wow.
Was that Boca? Is that am I saying that right?
That I don't know. I haven't seen that one before.
BOCCIA. What? I think I'm saying that's Boca. Maybe that's a Boca ball or something, or
Don't know. Maybe somebody could email us
And
tell
tennis.
us what that is.
and tennis. So it said on the website yesterday that registration and more information are still coming. But I hope it comes soon because it's in 5 days. So hopefully they
Right on.
get
Well,
on
we
that.
look forward to that event. That sounds like a cool event.
And of course, on this weekend, batten down the hatches because the atmospheric river is coming back.
Wait, wasn't atmospheric conditions a special word?
Wait, what would you say?
Didn't you say who?
What's
What?
that? What's that word?
What is it? Atmospheric?
Atmospheric.
Oh.
Somebody was slow on the.
The uptake?
My tooth got stuck on.
What
my
is that?
tongue.
What does that loud, obnoxious horn mean? That atmosphere or atmospheric is the
That
word
means the word of the week. Word of the week, everybody. So, if you've gotten to the show this far, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you also. And I know you're probably just waiting for Ross's rant anyway, but
Everybody waits, but it's kind of been a ranty show for him.
But our word of the week this week is atmospheric.
I think we take atmosphere too, right?
Yeah, we'll take atmosphere.
We'll take that one accept that as well. And what do they do with that word, Mr. Sherwood?
Give an email to contest@myburbank.com, and we'll throw you into the hopper, and the winner is going to get a $25 gift card for Hill Street Cafe.
Hill Street Cafe.
Located,
and maybe you can join Stephen Arakawa.
Yeah. Well,
our winner from last week.
Hill Street Cafe on Glen Oaks. And by the way, they have a table out front for if you want to come with your pet. And be able to,
really?
Yeah, there's a single table out front where you can sit down with your dog.
I was there recently and didn't notice a table. I'd have to take a look.
Maybe you didn't put it out.
Or if you want to sit outside. Just eat outside.
Yeah. Well, there's one table out there. Hopefully, it'd be maybe they should include a few more.
But it's a great neighborhood family restaurant, and they make almost everything on the menu fresh there. The salad dressings, the soups, everything. It's a great meal.
So this week we have the atmospheric river coming back for a second go around. They're predicting it probably late Sunday night into Monday. They haven't predicted how much rain we're going to get yet, but we got through the last one pretty good. We got about somewhere between 8 inches in that area, and
6 to 8 inches.
Yeah, we got through it pretty well, unlike some other cities did.
But don't feel that bad. New England's supposed to get a foot of snow tomorrow. Yeah. Which would you rather have?
Yeah, so the rain washes away. Well, we're also working on a side story also about that rainwater and the fact that Burbank cannot keep any of it. Yes, we're working on that right now.
And that if you go to the My Burbank YouTube channel, you'll see a video, a 1-minute video of the rainwater running through the wash behind the smokehouse here.
How many gallons when you photographed it, do you think passed you?
That had to have been at least 100 gallons.
At least. Maybe even 2,000.
It was
if you have a chance to look at our YouTube page, if you're watching our video here on YouTube, there's a YouTube short on the LA River that Craig shot, which it shows you the river nearly at the top of its banks.
It was about 6 to 8 feet from the top. I won't say that it's the highest I've ever seen, but it was certainly the fastest.
Yeah, but
flowing water I'd seen
about 60 miles an hour in that area.
It was
50 and 60.
It was hauling.
Which is why you don't go near the water, because you're gone. You're done.
Your dog goes
There's no swimming against that.
Yeah.
And people say, that's okay. I can raft on it. The problem is it's when you get to the bridges and when you get to the tunnels. That's what actually kills the people is they get into those situations and they can't breathe. Yeah.
And there's stuff under the top.
They're stuck or they're getting shot through like a rat out of an aqueduct.
Is that anything from an atmospheric condition?
It's actually a Monty Python line.
Oh.
I thought it appropriate.
And it was. Anyhow, so yeah, we got more rain coming and hopefully we get through it well. Anyhow,
here we go.
That brings us to the one, the only.
Buckle up.
And if you've been here this long, then you deserve to hear it.
This is probably why you've been here as long as you have, because you're waiting for this.
It's time for
Ross's Rant. Ross's Rant. Ross's Rant.
I'd take a flamethrower to this place.
Me. What's up, Doc?
You want to know what's up? I'll tell you what's up.
Uh-oh.
I was putting our Tuesday back in for this one. What did you say is happening this weekend? A what?
Atmospheric river?
Folks, when you're out driving, I don't care if you got to go to 7-Eleven, Vaughn's, Ralph's, or shopping bag. Slow the ding down. The streets are wet. I mean, there's schools going on still. You know what? People, you don't know how to drive and don't think you do. I don't care if we're in California, it's raining. Have you put new windshield wipers on? Windshield wiper blades? What about your umbrella? Raincoats? And how many of you went and bought rubbers lately?
Galoshes?
Oh, yeah, those too. It's time to slow down. We're in the worst rain, they said, that we've experienced for a couple of years. And Burbank's paving these new streets. That oil
They're
still
slick as snot. And I've always said, people say, they lose it in LA when it's raining. People drive like maniacs. No, they don't drive like maniacs. They just drive the same as they usually do. And you can't, because the rain brings all that oil up out of the pavement and everything that's been sitting and cooking there all summer. And it makes it super slippery. Your stopping distances are different. Your hydroplaning potentially. And all those lines that go across the crosswalks and stuff, you'll slide right over those things, because those are already slippery because of the kind of paint they use. But just slow down. Leave 5 minutes earlier. The world is not revolving around you and doesn't care if you get there on time. Plan accordingly. Slow down. Just be safe. I don't mean to sound mean about it, but for crying out loud, people
need to be told.
Crashing.
They need to be told.
You need to be reminded. And, we have a lot of younger people driving and older people that shouldn't be driving, And
well, people feel terrible. We don't wish anybody to get in accidents, but as many as I've handled over the last 30 years, everybody always feels real terrible when they get in a car accident, whether there's injuries or not. Well, somebody did something to cause that collision. So if everybody just slow down,
we'll get through this rain.
Safely, we'll get through it. We'll make it through. Together, we'll make it.
The LA River will still be there. It'll get the water.
Remember the Barry Manilow song, I Made It Through the Rain? Do we have that on cue, Mr. Sherwood?
We do not.
We don't have that one?
All right, I can get you through the fire from Billy Joel.
I should have sent you an email earlier.
Yes, I missed that.
Okay.
Well, I probably didn't have my full rant written, but, I just think of it. I stayed home last week during the rain, and I could hear it just coming down in buckets. And, excuse me, that was
your chair.
That was
it.
That was my,
well, since you called attention to it, that was the chair.
That was my car telling me we're ready to hit the road.
Yeah, that or a duck ran through here.
Well, I think that was another week.
Another week from the week that was and the week that will be.
For February 12th.
Okay.
2024.
And just wait.
Or whenever you're listening to this.
Right. Whenever. Yeah, you're right. And you might
could be listening to this 10 years down the road.
Yes.
And you'll still be wondering what's going on with those 3 trees.
That's right.
Why you can't have a plastic fork. Anyway,
and Dick Clark's,
we digress.
And Dick Clark's dogs' names.
What are they?
Willy Nilly. Willy
Molly,
Nilly.
Maybelline, Lucille, and Bernardo. That's the 4.
Okay. Well.
All right. With that, we've learned something tonight.
Well, that's it. So for Dodger. For Ross Benson. For Craig Durling.
As I say, tally ho,
this is
my
Craig
man.
Sherwood saying thank you for listening, and we will, believe it or not, be back next week to talk to you one more time.
Lord willing.
Ahoy.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. My Burbank Talks would like to thank all of My Burbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Game Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street.